AI, everybody's talking about it, and for good reason. But how will it impact your executive job search? Now, it's interesting to think back over the past 150 years to the impact that technology and technological advancement has had on the workplace. So, if you think back over that time period, there's been many times where people have thought, and rightly thought, that their jobs were going to be under threat because of technological advancement. Think back to factories. They used to be full of people all creating things by hand. Now they're full of robots creating things using their robot arms, right? And instead of having that factory full of people, you now have a handful of people who are maintaining and operating the robots. Does that mean that the job market is just getting smaller and smaller as technology is increasing? No. Jobs are just shifting. Things are just changing, right? Over the next 5 years, it's estimated that 16% of all jobs are going to be lost to AI. But at the same time, it's estimated that the same amount are going to be created by the advent of AI. This is super important, right? But why is it important for you as an executive? Well, there's two main reasons. First of all, you have to think about how this will impact your job, right? It's unlikely that an executive level role is going to be replaced completely by AI, but people who understand and appreciate the value of what AI can bring, they're going to do much better in their careers, right? They're going to be so much more switched on to the value that can be added and the value that can be brought to a company by implementing different systems that utilize AI. The second point here, which is potentially more important for you, is how does this impact your job search? And there's a number of key ways that the AI has impacted the job search over the past couple of years, both in a positive and a negative way. So let's start with the negatives, right? And these are things that you need to watch out for. So it's well known that job boards are highly competitive, right? I talk about this all the time. Job boards are highly competitive. They're not the place that you want to be competing if you're an executive. But let's say you find a role on a job board which seems reasonable, right? Well, some things you have to think about here. First of all, the number of ghost postings, which are fake job postings, has increased since the advent of AI. Why is that? Because now it's so easy to write a whole job description. Before, it probably, it would take 20, 30 minutes to write a whole job description. So fake job postings took a little bit of time to put up, right? Now you can just generate thousands of them in one click. Right? And why do people post fake job postings? Well, they do it to generate candidate pools. They do it for various different reasons. Unscrupulous recruiters will do it sometimes to generate candidates, and then they can go to a company and say, look at all the candidates that I have for this role, right? Please let me fill it for you. Things like that happen all the time. So the number of job postings that are fake on job boards is increasing because of AI. Now, also, on top of that, when you actually apply for one of these jobs, right? You'll know that there's things like applicant tracking systems, otherwise known as ATS, that review candidates. They essentially, you upload your resume, you upload your application, and then this system, not a person, will review all of the different things on your resume, right? And if the system decides that you're not suitable, you get one of those automatic rejections. The worst thing is, this happens about 90% of the time. 90% of candidates are rejected by those systems. And guess what? As AI keeps getting better and better, the hiring teams are going to rely more and more on those things. And so that 90% is going to go 95%, 96%, 97%, until almost it's going to be the case where hiring managers are just going to say to the system, hey, can you find me a person that looks like this? And then the AI will do its work, and then the best candidate is just going to pop out at the other end, right? That's not good. Because you don't know as a candidate what criteria that hiring manager or recruiter is typing into their AI system, right? So how on earth are you going to stand out? How on earth are you going to be the one that system chooses, right? It's just luck. And then we also think about things like AI interviews, right? I've seen this a lot. I've seen a lot of software companies developing things like it's an avatar of a person's head, right? And that's going to be the person who's going to interview you. It's great for hiring teams, means they don't have to interview people. They don't have to do screening interviews. They don't have to do that first step, right? But is that really good for you being interviewed by an AI system that, again, is just going to judge you against certain criteria that you don't even know about? You can't show your personality and really prove your unique value to an AI system, right? So you have to really consider whether utilizing those methodologies, right, going through the job boards is really the right thing that you want to do. And this is why I teach and my company teaches so often that you shouldn't be focusing on job boards, right? AI is just making this whole system worse, right? But then on the flip side, what's some of the positives to AI that you can utilize in your job search right now? Well, there are some big ones. So first of all, you can do things like tailor your resume. So we just talked about how you might get eliminated by AI because you're not the perfect candidate, right? But on the other hand, what you can do is start changing your resume, potentially using AI, to actually try and get past that system. Now, this isn't something that I would necessarily recommend, right? You're kind of fighting a losing battle here, but it's something that you could use AI for. Now, one thing that I truly recommend that you do use AI for, though, is thought leadership, right? And this is huge. Thought leadership is internally we call it the power of attraction, right? It's where you go out and you put things out in the world. But really one of the best places to do this is on LinkedIn. Is you're posting things on LinkedIn about your industry, with interesting insights about how you think about different things. Now, historically, that took a lot of time because you'd have to write out your posts, you'd have to make sure you're scheduling them out at the right times and all these different things. Now, AI can do a lot of that for you. It can help you brainstorm ideas. It can actually write things for you. So you can go on something like ChatGPT and you can type in, please create me a LinkedIn post about this topic, and it will just do it for you. Right? And granted, you might have to tweak it and adjust it and put it in the language that you might use, but that is a lot quicker than having to think about the ideas from scratch and then go through the pain of writing it and editing it yourself. And because you can do it so quickly with AI, guess what? You can create a lot of content, you can schedule it out, and then that's how you start becoming a thought leader very quickly in your industry. It's so powerful because guess what? When you do that, LinkedIn actually rewards you for putting that post out there, because the more active profile you have, the more LinkedIn rewards you by showing your profile to other people, which if you're in the job search, that's exactly what you want. You want your profile in front of as many people as possible. Not only that, but it also shows up higher in the search results. When a recruiter is searching, I'm looking for a chief technology officer, right? And they search for various criteria that they're looking for. Guess what? Your profile is right up there. And then when someone connects with you and is in your network, they see your posts when they go on LinkedIn. So you're top of mind for them. And also, and you will have seen this as well, you can have your posts shown to other people in the network of people that you're connected with. So your second and third connections. So all it means is that your name is getting in front of more people. And if people see that you have interesting things to say and they're looking to hire somebody who's in that realm, do you think they might reach out to you? It's a pretty high possibility. And that's why the power of attraction, thought leadership using AI is so important. Right? So that's one of the biggest uses of AI that I recommend that our clients do. Now, there's some other uses of AI that you can put in place as well. So when you're building your network, right, you can utilize certain tools. You can utilize certain AI tools, particularly around creating your messaging. This is what AI is really the best for at the moment, is generating text that's good text very, very quickly. And so let's say you wanted to write outreach messages to people that you might want to work for or recruiters. You can do that very quickly with AI. Again, you don't have to spend all that time drafting everything and writing it out. You can do it much more quickly using AI. It's so powerful. Right. And so when you think about AI in the job search, there are definitely a number of negatives and there are definitely a number of things that you need to navigate past. But what we teach here at the Ambitious Exec is that you need to navigate past those things anyway, because all that AI is doing is exacerbating the problem of competition. Right? Job boards are out there to make you think that their way is the only way, that all the jobs are out there on job boards. That's completely false, right? 80% of jobs are never advertised. Companies don't want to use job boards for all the reasons that we've just talked about. Okay, but when they have to, when there's when they can't find an internal referral, or they can't find a person for one specific role, they put it on a job board, and then they're going to use AI to eliminate as many people as possible. Right? Now, this obviously happens less at the executive level. But it happens much, much more. If you were looking for a job in retail or in fast food or one of those things, you really have a big problem with AI. For when you're executive level, slightly different, but you still have to think about these things. And then on the flip side, you need to really understand how you can use AI in your job search yourself. And then the final point is about really understanding the value of AI. So I mentioned this before, but when it comes to you talking in an interview, in a conversation with a decision maker about what you might bring to an organization, there's going to be many people who are interested in how AI can fit in with certain types of different verticals. So, it fits everywhere, right? Sales outreach, streamlining your workflows. With marketing, creating content like we talked about with thought leadership, right? Managing your workflows again with marketing. Operations, huge amounts of value that can be added by AI in operations. Finance, instead of having to manually do bookkeeping, AI can just do it for you. So if you're somebody who understands and is up on the latest in what AI can do in your specific industry, when you're in an interview for your next executive role, that's going to be a huge selling point. Because everybody knows that AI is going to have a huge impact. And if they, as a company, are not at the forefront of this and at least not thinking about it, what's going to happen? They're going to get left behind, right? If other companies have got AI doing all the work and you have manual people or people doing all the work manually, right? You have to pay them. They have sick leave. They go on vacation. They don't work weekends, right? AI works 24/7, never complains, never takes a vacation. This is why you need to really, really be thinking about it. So not only in your job search, but also when you get to the interview stage, when you're proving your value, if you're somebody that understands the value of AI, it's going to make a huge difference in your job search and in the chances that you're going to have of actually getting hired. So make sure that you think deeply about how AI can impact your job search, and it will make a huge difference if you can escape the negatives and utilize the positives using that system. So take care and best of luck.